Welcome back, dudes. In this episode, we're going to trade the EF in for the Insight because winter is almost here. I'm also going to show you guys some updates on some other projects as well. So let's get to it. We're in the 90 Honda Civic Si Hatch project, and this is kind of a sad day. We're putting this thing away, so I'm just spending some time on the back roads with this on the way to the storage unit. So I'm getting the inside out. But man, this thing just drives so awesome. The problem I'm having is under braking, I get this shaking. And I did my rotors and I checked all the ball joints and they're all tight. And it's actually the steering rack itself. You can tighten the steering rack to make it harder to turn, but apparently you cannot get rid of that play, from what I understand. So I'm gonna have to get a new rack for this car. And given the fact that I am still building an engine, I'm building a mild V16 for this thing, when that's all coming out, it makes sense to do the rack at the same time, because in order to get the rack out, you need to drop the exhaust and the shift coupler and whatnot. So one of the things I absolutely love about this car is the visibility and how fast it feels like when you're driving. I mean, it just corners so flat and you can just rev the hell out of it and beat the snot out of it. It's just fun and engaging. You're never going like crazy fast. Like, you can get a ticket, but you're not going like kill yourself or jail time fast, and it still allows you to have a lot of fun. There's that rack shake. It's getting real bad. It's really sad to me that a lot of people today didn't grow up with these cars, because now they're getting to be more expensive and kind of hard to justify, because if you're spending that kind of money, you can get something significantly faster. But I would argue that it depends on what you want. If you're actually competing on the track, sure, there's better ways to go fast. But for a really engaging daily driver that's useful and reliable and comfortable, it's a really good package. And I think that that's what a lot of new cars are missing. There's this sensation of speed in this thing and precision. It just feels like driving a little scalpel of a go-kart. It just point and shoot, well, when the rack isn't messed up. And there we go, there's the speed limit. But rev it out, it's fun, and the chassis is fun, and the visibility is great. Would I die in an accident? Maybe. I don't know. Adds to the excitement. Just new cars are too big. That's all I'm saying. Here's the Insight. I'm sure it's dead because it's dead every single time. So we're going to push that. Yep, it's dead. We're going to push that outside and jump start it, hopefully. The Bavaria. Now, I've still been collecting parts, but the big news is that we have a windshield for this thing. So I'm gonna be looking for a windshield seal next, and then we're gonna put the windshield in right away, because this car needs to have a windshield in order for me to do anything with it. I'm really excited to work on this thing. It's so cool. We also picked up an extra door just for some sheet metal to try to patch in the rest of this. Figured it'd be the right shape. And then we got a new set of kidneys, a bunch of brake components, tons of spares for this thing. So parts are slowly accumulating. Oh yeah, I got one of these too, so that's dope. What else we got back here? We got the 3-point hydroplane that I didn't even touch this year. We need to figure out the carb situation and try running this thing again. And then over here, we have the Mountain Phazer project. This thing is awesome. Supposedly it runs, it's got nice rails, it has a skid from a Rev chassis, Skidoo I think, and it has tall ass risers with a throttle trigger. So man, I need to get to this thing because this is a killer sled. All right, let's roll this thing out and see if we can get it to wake up. One of the things I'm always surprised about when I come back to this car after driving an EF all season is how light this really is. So that is a pretty lightweight car. I forget how much it weighs, but this only weighs 1,800 pounds because the chassis is completely aluminum, as are the doors and the hood. So when you open it, it just feels like nothing compared to an EF. And an EF doesn't even feel heavy. Man, it feels like the e-brake is stuck on. That's not good. All right, so what I thought was gonna be simple turned out not to be simple because the brakes are seized on the inside and the battery's dead. So I enabled some extra firepower here, and we both pumped the door jambs to try to get this thing to move, and it won't move. So now we're going to plan B, which is a big ratchet strap around something solid under here, there's something solid under there, and we're gonna yank it backwards, and Sarah's gonna sit in here and stay on the brakes so that the car doesn't pop out and hit the other car. Sound like a plan?
Not a great plan, but a plan.
All right, and run. Let's swap. All right, inside's driving, brakes are dragging a little bit, but we're gonna get this into winter mode shortly here because it's still on summers. I don't even know why I put the summers on this thing anymore. But